Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's head-to-head comparison, let's take a look at the 2025 GMC Acadia AT4 and the 2025 Ford Explorer ST. I borrowed the Ford from Mooresville Ford, so take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. And let's get right into today's review. So the starting MSRPs for the GMC, right around $42,000 versus $39,000 for the Ford Explorer. In today's review, the ST is just over $61,000 versus $59,000 for this AT4. So they're nearly identical in their MSRP, but they have a lot of differences, as we'll get into. So for the GMC, this is powered by a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. The Explorer is powered by a 3-liter EcoBoost V6 paired to a 10-speed automatic. It pumps out 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. Now, both of these models are all-wheel drive. We have curb weights of 4,800 pounds for the GMC, 4,600 pounds for the Explorer. You'll expect to see 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds for the ST versus 6.5 seconds for the GMC. And then fuel economy is 19 and 24 for the GMC, and then 18 and 26 for the ST. And they both have a towing capacity right around 5,000 pounds. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice that we have two massive grills for both of these models. The GMC also has a forward-facing camera. There's LEDs for all of the lighting, fog lights down below, parking sensors, and then there's even the sensor for the distance pacing right in that lower section, and then the red tow hooks as part of the AT4 package. For the Explorer, it gets a forward-facing camera as well. And then there's fog lights in the lower section, LEDs, all the parking sensors. The distance pacing sensor is right in the middle, just like on the GMC. So they're fairly similar with all the features that they have up front. And then just a similar design with that large grille. We have some bulges coming down the hood of both of these to mimic some of their truck counterparts. Now, as we work our way to the side, this GMC is slightly lifted. It has some all-terrain tires on it for those off-roading capabilities. For the Explorer, we have more of a street tire, just being a little bit more performance-oriented. We have the red brake calipers too. And then you'll notice there's plastic for both of the fender arches. For the mirrors, there's the camera and the turn signal. Same thing over on the Ford. And then full moonroof with the roof racks, and you get the same thing with the GMC here. Now, as we take a step back, the GMC from the outside looks just a little bit bigger. You do get some more angular lines running down the Explorer though, versus a little bit more subtle for the GMC. Now, as we work our way to the back, this model also has the camera system within the rear view mirror there. There's the third brake light above that, along with the wiper blade. There's all the LED taillights, and then backup camera, quad tip exhaust for this model here, and then that hitch located down below. Now, you can use the button up underneath or double tap the button on the key fob, and that will open up the power liftgate, where with the third row up, there's actually a good bit of space. Underneath the floor, you have this large bin where you can place additional items. And then with the second row, it's very easy to fold these down. You do, however, have to have the second row in the correct position in order to do that, but they fold flat, and then you have these straps there to easily put them down and put them back up. And then there's one button on the liftgate there just to close it. There's no button to lock it. Moving on to the Explorer now, we have a little bit more sporty of a spoiler there. There's the third brake light, wiper blade, all the LEDs, and then you have a quad tip dual exhaust as well, all the parking sensors, and then the hitch too. Now, for this model, same thing. You can use the button underneath or the key fob to open up the power liftgate. And it looks like you have maybe a little bit less storage, but it's still a lot with that third row up. Underneath, you have this removable tray and a lot of storage, so very similar to the GMC. Now, the biggest difference is the second row is power folding. So just push on one button and you can put them up and put them back down. So just a little bit different. You do have the manual headrest, so you can pop these out by using this tab here. But it's a very quick process, and then you have lock and closing that power liftgate up top. Now, working our way back to the GMC, there's the proximity door handle, so you can lock and unlock this. Interiors are going to vary just depending on the options that you go with, but this model has the captain's chairs. They do move forwards and backwards, recline and incline, and then with this lever here, you can slide that seat forwards, giving you plenty of space to hop into the back. Now, at 5'10", there's a good bit of space. Like I said, you can move this seat forwards if you need more. You have cup holders, auxiliaries there, And then I have a few inches of headroom here. So honestly, I could ride around town. My knees are a little bit higher than the seat itself, but it's not all that bad to be placed in the back there. And then you can easily lock that seat back. And then in the second row here, plenty of storage. There's cup holders, heated captain's chairs, all the auxiliaries, fan speed, temperature, some storage too, and then plenty of headroom with these captain's chairs. There's also the adjustable armrest too. And then with that moonroof, it gives you a lot of lighting for your backseat passengers. Now working our way to the Explorer, you'll notice for the back door handle, we have the proximity door handle too, so you can lock and unlock them. A little bit different of a design for this door panel, and then we have a much different design for these seats. Now they have the same functions, moving forwards and backwards, recline and incline. You can grab the same adjustment here to push that seat forwards, and then that gives you a lot of space to hop into the back. Now the only difference is this only has 2 seats in the third row, so a little bit smaller. You have some storage there, some auxiliaries too, and then I have probably about the same amount of headroom, to be honest, so it's really not all that bad. My knees are up just as high as in the GMC, just a little bit smaller, but still doable for 2 people to be in the back. And then jumping into the captain's chairs, you'll notice that there's storage pockets behind both front seats, just like in the GMC. There's the fan speed, you have temperatures, heated seats, auxiliaries, and then you have a little bit of storage with the cup holders there that pop out. There's also armrests too, and then I have about the same amount of headroom. If I recline these seats, it's a little bit more. So second and third row, not all that bad in either of these. You just have 2 seats back there. Up front for the door panel, memory seating adjustments, power folding side mirrors, window controls, and additional storage, and then the power operating front seats. Now this also has solid and perforated leather on the steering wheel with the flat bottom design to it. There's paddle shifters too. And then cruise control, distance pacing, volume, you have Bluetooth adjustments, and then you can also go through the gauge cluster here. So by using those arrows on the right side, we can scroll through all of this information. You can even get into a customized view there and go into menu too. So you have a little bit that you can scroll through depending on what you would like to see. Now on this left side, there's the liftgate release, all of the headlight adjustments. And then with the infotainment system, you have a lot more to go through. Here's the home screen where you have all of the split information. You can push on the vehicle icon there and get through some of this, and then 6 squares to get through all of these icons. So you can scroll through all of these as needed. And the lower section is fixed, so it's always going to be here for your temperatures. You can get into the heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, your fan speed, and a few other of those controls. There's volume, engine start stop, parallel parking, even a shortcut to the camera system, so you can pull this up. And then there's traction control, brake hold, wireless charging with storage. You get more storage underneath. There's 2 cup holders, and then here's the dial to put it into reverse and drive. So you can just twist on that. There's the e-brake, and you get a few different driving modes too. There's light off-roading, slippery, you have normal, eco, sport, and then tow and haul. Last one is for trail. You get storage in the armrest there, along with in the glove box. And then up top, there's the rear view mirror, controls for the sunshade and sunroof, sunglass holder too. And then here's a look at visibility. It's pretty easy to see over both shoulders. So you have quite a lot of glass to be able to see around this pillar in the back. And then working your way to the GMC, this does not have memory seating adjustments, so you won't see those. You won't see the power folding side mirrors. However, they will fold when you lock the vehicle. You get a little bit of storage down below, and then the power operating front seats. And then with this steering wheel, we have solid and this gloss black trim accent for the Super Cruise. Now there's paddle shifters too, heated steering wheel, all of the cruise control settings, and then you don't have quite as many configurations for this screen. You have 3 separate screens here, and that is it. So you can't configure them, but it's nice that you have a few adjustments to at least see. On this left side, this is where the mode button is. So these are the ones that you have for the GMC here, kind of similar to the Explorer, going through all of those. However, with this, you can go between 2-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. There's 1 air vent, head-up display for this model, and then we have a huge infotainment system where you can go through kind of the similar amount of information as you saw in the Explorer. You have all those icons, a split view, navigation and phone, and then all of the climates are in the lower section. Same as the Explorer there. You get heated seats, ventilated seats, the heated steering wheel. All of your lighting controls though are within this screen here. And then you have fan speed, temperature, volume right in the middle, and the rest of those. Now in order to put this into reverse or drive, we have the stock on the column there. So that way we can get into the 360 view here. You can get into drive and pull that up, and then park's on the end there. Now you have wireless charging and storage. You get more storage down below. There's cup holders, storage in the armrest, same with the glove box there. And then in this model, you have the digital rear view mirror. There's adjustments for the sunshade and sunroof, sunglass holder too. And then here's a look at visibility. Kind of the same, that pillar in the back might be a little bit more bulky than in the Explorer. So in that back section there, versus we have more cargo glass for the Explorer. So with the exteriors and interiors wrapped up, let's get both of these out on the road and see how they drive. And behind the wheel of the Explorer in second gear, here we go. Mild acceleration, we are up to speed. Paddles are very responsive too, and it definitely has a good sound to it. So with the Explorer, right off the bat, this has a much more sporty feel to it, especially with the design of the steering wheel. Seating position is still nice for an SUV. This is what you would expect. Good visibility out of the hood there. But even with these seats too, the support that they have just give you that sporty feel. And that's what you were going to get, of course, with the ST version. Now you can also get the Ford Explorer Platinum, which is going to be a little bit more with the bells and whistles, which would be a little bit similar to the GMC as far as having some of those extra goodies, but they're going to have similar power, just different trim accents. So you do have some other options with the Explorer to kind of compete with some of those luxury feels from the GMC. The GMC is going to be a little bit more luxury focused than this particular Explorer. But it rides very nice, it's very smooth too, has great power, paddles are responsive again, and it's a nice smaller size 3-row SUV. Now you could go a step further in calling it a small 3-row since there's only 2 in that 3rd row. So we have a 6-seater here. It's something that maybe you're not going to use the 3rd row that often. Maybe you just need an extra seat, possibly 2 in that back. So if you're really not using the 3rd row that often, this is a good option to go with. It's also very maneuverable too, but it's a good option to go with if and when you need to use them. And it would make for a great daily driver with the performance that you get if you want some of those characteristics in your family SUV. And behind the wheel now for the GMC in sport mode, here we go. And as we get up to speed, I'd say it has an adequate amount of power for the Turbo 4 there, but this has been a very nice vehicle to drive. I've had this one for a few days, so a little bit more driving experience with it. Seating position is really nice. You can see out of the hood there. We have a smooth design for the steering wheel here, and then just a really nice, comfortable place to be. I will say some of the tech features, I would like to see some more physical buttons. I think it's really nice that we do have the toggles down below for fan speed, temperature, things like that. But you have some 2-step processes with this touchscreen system, but that seems to be a lot of manufacturers doing that. Not everyone, like some of the competitors, of course, but that is one thing that I have noticed in having to go through some of that information. But as far as driving this goes, it's been very nice. Seats are very comfortable. The suspension is smooth. Power delivery is great. And then you still have a small SUV, but you also have a 7-seater too. So if you need a little bit more practicality, it's definitely a good size platform and something that would make for a great daily driver. It's been smooth, very quiet. So coming back to our final thoughts now between the GMC Acadia and the Ford Explorer. For these 2 particular models, we get a lot more performance and power with the ST. However, we lose a seat in that 3rd row versus the GMC. GMC is lifted a little bit more for off-roading situations, so they are completely different styles of 3-row SUVs. So it really just depends on Are you going camping a lot? Are you going down some gravel roads? Do you need the lift, the extra capabilities there? Or do you want to do some more performance style driving in your family 3-row SUV and go with the Explorer with that more power and just more handling characteristics? So completely different vehicles, just depending on what you're looking to get out of your 3-row SUV. Comment down below. Would you rather have the performance or the off-roading performance? Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.